Hi.
Okay, so we're gonna continue where we left off, kind of. I'm gonna
Yeah,
explain
sure.
the infinite multiverse thing, which I tried to do that. It's like a bit shaky, but
Very.
Wait,
mainly it's just about how it's like for example, Flowey. So like Sans like confirms that when you use a reset, that it's like basically destroying that timeline, and then it's like stated by Flowey that he'll like keep resetting on your corpse forever.
Right.
So basically, if Flowey, we should assume because Flowey has way more knowledge of the cosmology than we do, and so it's fair enough to assume that if you can do this forever, then logically there's enough timelines for him to do that.
also, sorry for butting in, but I also want to say that there's another kid
What? Other what?
to, the Goddard kid to help point out the timelines.
Yeah, he sent me that scan.
Well, no, he like the Gaster followers and all of them.
Yeah. Well, the issue is there's no confirmation of infinite multiverses. Like you have to show direct like evidence of there being an infinite multiverse. Otherwise, I'd fall under Hitchens razor and it can be dismissed.
Yeah, there is Hitchens Razor.
And Occam's razor, which suggests the simplest explanation is the logical one. In this case, yeah, he can do it forever, but I can also count forever. Like that, and I'm never going to hit 100 or infinite because there's infinite numbers. So he's going to keep going. So you could say there's endless possibilities. That's 100% logical. But the fact that there's right now infinite multiverses, it's shaky. Now you can easily get to hundreds and thousands. That's logical.
Mm-hmm.
Off of the Flowey statement where he said he went and he befriended and minimized everyone, that's logical. But in terms of is there an infinite multiverse, you got to either show some feat or statement of I wiped out infinite timelines or something.
Yeah,
It's shaky.
it is shaky,
Oh,
but shaky's better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing because you can also pull reverse burden of proof. Well, there's no evidence that there isn't. And we know there's higher dimensional beings, like there's 5D, 6D Undertale arguments. So it's not impossible, but like anyone who knows what they're doing will not fall for it.
Yeah, that's fair.
so, guys, are you ready to debate your Chara versus Omega Flowey?
Yes, we will continue that.
Yes.
So, since that was inconclusive, we're kind of have to. We're basically gonna cover most of the points again,
Okay.
considering that he didn't agree or disagree with either one.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah,
logically,
are we gonna record this time?
yeah, I'm recording already.
Oh, okay.
So going back to the argument about who's just
Yes,
base more powerful,
have a Discord.
or I pulled up and I'll get this. I'll just post a scan again for the people. But Flowey is like when we see his save file, we see that he's level 9999, so like basically level 10,000.
Right.
And this is obviously because since LV is like emotion based, it's like based on how much like you care whether or not you're killing people. Flowey without a soul literally has absolutely zero emotional restrictions. So logically, he has like the absolute max possible LV that can be
Mm-hmm.
like logically achieved through normal means. Uh, and I'm gonna get that scan.
So, just explaining, they just started.
Okay, I'm getting that
Of
scan.
course, yeah. I mean, current.
Wait, what the?
Also, I have a plethora of different videos and stuff like for this. So if you need like any help, like sending something, because I know you're not a rat, like I'm not gonna pull Hitchens Razor on you. So if you need help, like finding a video or like last time you want a commentary, I've got you.
Yeah, okay. Here we go. Where is the gay? Okay, I got it. What's up? Okay, this guy cut that part out. What a douchebag.
What are you looking for?
I was looking for the scan of Flowey being level 999, like his save file.
Oh, here I'll just give you the stupid list of various of or not list of all the stats.
Yeah. And so, like,
Here.
when we see Flowey's save file, shown to be keep searching for that. These morons cutting out the only part I actually needed.
It be like that.
It do be like that.
It really do be like that.
You don't get to assume what I wanted to see when I click on your gameplay.
There's the link that I gave you there, and in it.
Okay. Here we go. So.
Yeah, right there it says max HP and attack 9999. So there you go. LV confirmed via official stats.
Too bad.
Chart.
Too bad humans aren't on this list. There are the humans.
Yeah, there. Yeah,
they're
there.
lost souls, but no Frisk.
I do have a chart for Frisk. Don't worry, I'm actually going to bring that up later.
Yes. Wait. What? Oh, you're talking about the actual Frisk.
Yeah, the actual Frisk. From now on, if I say Frisk, I'm talking about the actual Frisk, not our judge Frisk.
Not our judge.
Awesome.
Our judge.
The Frisk is OP.
Facts. Anyway, what else are you looking for? Just to help you out.
Yeah, you know, I was just trying to get that scan of like where when you open it says like Flowey, my world.
Oh yeah, here.
That one. Ooh, there we go. Jacksepticeye doesn't cut crap out.
No, he does not cut anything, nor does Markiplier.
He's too amateur for that.
Exactly. Too pro.
Here we go. That's the scan, except freaking Jacksepticeye's retarded face is in the way, whatever.
Hold on, where's the debate chat?
Yeah, I'm getting that. You guys might see a little bit of Jacksepticeye.
Hey, no copyright. Here, let me post that list. There you go.
Here we go. Wait, is that debate chat? Or no, that's not posting that there.
Oh, Undertale stats.
There we go.
Yeah, level 999.
So this should and it's logical to assume each human soul is affected by the level instead of just that being a collective thing.
Mm-hmm.
So logically, that should be 6 times 10,000.
Easily. I hear something in the background. Yo, Frisk, mute your mic, Chief.
You watching something?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, whatever.
Mute your mic,
Okay,
Chief.
I turned off. Yeah, I turned off my TV right now.
Okay. My world.
Okay. Yes, it is his world.
Yes. And just to clarify your point, what are you arguing via Superior LV? He'll win?
Yeah, my point about this is just that Flowey has quantifiably far higher stats than Frisk at the end game, and considering like Chara was basically leeching off Frisk until they stole enough of his power, and then even after that, they just had to sit there and wait until you gave them a soul. They're just like, so logically, they shouldn't be that much higher than a base risk, which would only be level 20 versus level 60,000 Omega Fly.
Okay. So what I'm going to bring up first is LV does not correlate to attack potency. Do you agree with that, or should I post the reasoning?
I mean, it's a little like shaky. Like it doesn't. It's not like
Okay,
the
here.
only thing that contributes to it, but it's a factor.
Yeah. No. I would argue it's completely unaccountable. Here's a scan of here. I have so many scans. Oh god. Here's a scan of Frisk's crap. Hang on. Let me go grab it. Let me go grab the chart of Frisk's stuff. So, as a fun fact, level 15 Frisk in Genocide will actually do more damage than a level 20 Frisk in Neutral.
Oh yeah, no, I know the game's kind of inconsistent with that.
And
Definitely.
there's reasoning behind that, but not. So, oh my god, do you want the whole chart, or should I just email you the link?
Link.
Link it is. All right, that's good choice. So there you go. If you scroll down, you'll see all the charts. Now for level 50. Now here's the issue with level 15 or level 20 Frisk in the. It's a wiki page. Level 20 Frisk in the game will do 99 damage. Okay, sounds cool. Now at level 15, do you know where level 15 Frisk is at in the Genocide run?
I think that should be like around Meta 10. No, not around Meta 10.
Yes.
It should be like
Undyed.
that should be before that. No, it's
You are.
Undyne's level 10, I think. But no,
You're correct.
yeah,
It was Metaton. Do you know how much damage you do to Metaton?
you one shot.
A crap ton, specifically around over 30k. To further this, a level 20 neutral run Frisk, again 99, does 32 damage or 99 damage. Sorry. And then in Genocide Frisk, when you pop sands, you do a crap ton of nines. LV does not correlate to AP just based off of the different runs. Another example, this is one that's consistent. Omega Flowey boss fight. When you start off, when you start hitting Flowey, you do like 1 damage. Then the next attack, you do 5. And the next, you get around like 8 or 10. And it keeps getting higher and higher and higher with each strike, but your LV remains the same.
Well, that can be blamed on the souls, considering it's like.
No, this is before you start messing with the souls. Just he's attacking you, and you're trying to press the attack button.
Well, but like the first time you barely break this like single digits before you fight the first soul, and afterwards
Yes.
you start doing consistently in the single digits.
After you start breaking the souls, then you start getting to the hundreds. And then once all this, or not the hundreds, but yeah, the double digits. And then after you break the souls as a whole, you get to the hundreds. Now, here's the issue, though. The souls were on his side before he started the, he reset you and he spammed death you with the save and load. Because he repeated over and over again, you ain't Jack. Congratulations, you killed, I'm at 0 damage. Well, his souls instantly healed him and allowed him to pop him over and over again. Only after Frisk was on the verge of literal death was when the souls betrayed him.
Well, I mean, so first off, like the soul, like he still had the ability to reset. The souls were like taking that away, but you could argue like revolting isn't just like a hey guys wanna stop doing this. They don't just say I'm bored. I want to stop listening to like their souls were absorbed, and like you
Yes.
see with Azrael when he absorbs the monster souls, they like kind of warps their personality, and it like you know
Mm-hmm.
you have to act like, and it's very similar to getting back the human souls, with the monster souls that you retrieve.
But still, the issue is LV isn't a good way. LV is not determined how high of a hitter you are. It's how big of a threat you are and how lethal you are. Your AP is what determines how lethal you are. And again, you see level 20 does 99 consistently, whereas with Chara, you're popping a world. And there's even more examples, like
You can get level 20 in neutral.
Yeah, you can. Again, I posted it in the thing up there. What you do is, so it's a cheat. You have to go into an area on Hotland just before Metaton and just grind, and you'll get it eventually.
I mean, cause like that almost seems like a. I know like most Undertale, doesn't have this often, but that almost because like a level like the game's kind of inconsistent. Like for example, if you were to spare a monster kid and then fight Undyne like literally 20 seconds later, you all of a sudden start doing less damage, and I don't see any reasonable explanation for that.
For Undyne?
For Undyne, if you spare monster kid and then fight Undyne right after that, instead of one hitting Undyne, you like consistently like you have to like it's about 10 hits even with the most accurate attack versus one shotting with literally the worst attack you can possibly throw.
We're talking genocide, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The reason for that is at that point, the canonical reason is Frisk came back and stopped Chara, and now she's nice. And plus her again, LV. It doesn't matter. It comes down to your AP, and at that point, your AP gets reset because now the game knows it. Well, the real world reason is the game now knows you're not doing genocide, and it's not going to give you these high attack potencies. And canonically, Frisk comes back and stops Chara. Both help the case because LV just simply isn't a determiner of how big of a heavy hitter you are. It comes down to how lethal you are, or how much of a threat you are.
Well, like, seeing you can say that, but it definitely does contribute to it a lot, and it's definitely like it's not like 100%, but it's definitely a reliable factor.
Oh yeah, sure. You don't get level 20 by being a pacifist. Yeah. But what I'm saying is LV just like you're level 20. Okay, well we know you're, but other than that, that statement just says, "Hey guys, this guy's lethal. Maybe like don't hold back." Proposed to level 1 where it's obviously not going to do anything.
Because like with level of violence, it's like directly stated that like its purpose is whether or not you are able to restrain yourself.
Or not, yes, but that still doesn't correlate to AP. Like, yeah, you're going to be more unhinged, and you're going to. It just means are you more likely to pull your punches or not? Your AP is how much you're actually doing.
But like, is there any real like? Because you claim like, are you claiming Chara's amping Frisk?
I could claim that. I'm just making the claim that LV isn't the determining. Like just saying, well, I have a higher LV, that doesn't mean anything. Because think of it like this: Omega Fly was able to do significant damage to Frisk, and the Hyper God of Death was able to do significant damage to Frisk. Darn near everyone was able to do significant damage to Frisk because poor thing is level 1. But then once you start getting the levels, and the determination spikes go up. Well, that's when she starts taking hits and don't play no games. But I could give you reasons for why she would be amping it. But I'm talking about Chara specifically. LV doesn't really matter to her. Like she's a psychopath too. And
Flowey is Omega Fly has actually been shown to do like more damage, considering how high your LV is.
How much damage? What's his best AP?
So like your health bar actually shrinks in size if you're in a neutral route compared to pacifist.
Yes.
And so like
yeah.
So logically the higher LV characters would have a much harder time against.
Here's a feat I got for you. You know how much how much damage Chara does just as a single slash. This is just her messing around. It's a lot of nines. Way more nines than old Omega Flowey had. My point being, just with that feat alone, with all those, with the nines literally covering the the stupid screen, and with Sands, she has demonstrated higher AP feat.
Well, because like that was like a timeline busting attack. You could also
Yes.
argue Flowey has like something like that. Like he deleted the save file completely.
No, but Cars was on a higher degree. She popped everything. Everything was gone. Whereas with Flowey, there was still something left. There was still a timeline and stuff, as shown in the game. Like he's literally setting timelines and stuff. There's still stuff remaining.
Because then that goes to the level. Because we know it's just it's like it can be argued it's not just manipulating linear time with
Oh, absolutely.
the time reset, and we know Kara is
Oh,
still able to reset it once they get your soul.
yeah, like we said in the last debate, I don't think I think she just wanted the soul just to either to kind of make a point because she could have done it whenever. She was far stronger than Frisk and arguably the anomaly at that point. And the trade off was she said, "Give me your soul, and then I'll bring everything back."
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Yeah, but this because like there are many ways to explain this. Like maybe because like you know how Kara is kind of leeching off you. It could be possible that Kara doesn't really have independence without the soul.
Okay, here's how I could argue against that. True form. When she gains absolute, she's chilling on her own, talking to you, interacting with the players, saying "screw you" to the anomaly, and even to the point where she gets into the game's code.
I mean, well yeah, but like again, Kara like has abilities and everything, but their life is basically like leeching off your soul, and there's nothing exactly to suggest that they don't like that's ended to like per se.
What about after the route?
Oh yeah, after the route, but that's after you car has their own soul.
Yes, yeah. Aren't we using that Kara though?
Oh yeah, we're using that car, but the issue is car would like at that point they'd be above Frisk, but they'd only have like their soul.
Yeah, like, but still, just being above Frisk, who we then scale off of the Hyper God of Death, as she was able to take a full powered shot point blank.
Well, but then again, that Frisk should have way more determination.
Yeah, I would have to say first.
Hey,
This is
Judge,
one on one.
Judge, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
I'm sorry,
Mute.
Judge.
I'll
You lost
mute.
it. You lost
I'll
it.
mute myself.
All right.
Because
Anyway.
there's lots of reason to assume that that Frisk was way more amped on determination than anything we've ever seen.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So, like,
But I'm going off of like in terms of feats against Omega Fly, and she should be directly scalable, as shown in her dialogue. They were not mine, but yours. She would directly scale to a fair degree.
well, yeah, but the genocide Frisk should be stronger in like AP and such, but the pacifist Frisk at that moment is shown to have way more determination than.
Yes, I 100% agree with you.
So like
Though I would say they're relative, like very relative.
because you cannot see that because like first of all the determination that Kara has is like even though they have like their own independent self, like the determination they have and
Mm-hmm.
the LV they have, that's all directly off of Frisk up until
Mm-hmm.
the point where you just give it up completely, but that'd still like directly scale to like a genocide Frisk, but the genocide Frisk definitely, and especially in durability, should not. Well, only in durability really, but they should not scale to pacifist Frisk.
Yes. Let me clarify my point on that. I'm not saying it's a direct scaling. I don't. I'm just simply saying they're relative, similar to like a Madara versus Kaguya thing. I don't know if you're a Naruto guy. Like Kaguya is very clearly superior to Madara, but he's not like infinitely weaker than. Same goes with here.
Determination's kind of hard because different amounts do different things.
Yes, which is
So
why I have feats and statements to back me up. So, looking at feats, Frisk is still bound by the anomaly. Chara is not. Chara is able to access and go into the code and continue to resist the anomaly. Frisk can't really do that. She can, however, access the title stream, but the code would be a higher plane. In terms of true form, she one-shot poor Frisk and made her give up her soul. Something that no other character in Undertale has been able to achieve, despite literally all of them other than Sans wanting it. And I guess Papyrus. I guess Papyrus didn't really want your soul. He just wanted a friend.
Well, like, but then again, like with Mega Flowey, he kind of allowed Frisk to go. It's heavily implied he kind of allowed Frisk to come back, just because he enjoyed killing him. He's all like, I couldn't wait to kill you a second time.
Yeah, but at the same time, remember he's still confounded to some degree to the timelines. To some degree, I'm not saying he's not a multiverse buster. I think we would both agree that he would at least at bare minimum be around the multiverse plus ranges. But what I'm saying is, Frisk was so dang strong during that fight, and especially towards the end, to the point where we discussed the button thing last time, and you brought up how Mega Flowey like gives you buttons or something. I would actually argue that was Frisk, and here's why. So I went back. His dog is having a nightmare. Anyway, I went back and I looked at the two fights. I looked at Azure Dreamer and I looked at Omega Flowey. And Frisk has been shown to be able to give her own buttons and her own abilities during the fights. For example, in the Hyper God of Death fight, she activates the save thing. Or you could say that was Chara. I would actually. Let me rephrase that. Chara.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you go by these things,
it's theorized that the narrator is Chara.
Yeah. Let me rephrase that. Chara gives you things, and same in the Omega Flowey boss fight where they just randomly appear because Omega Flowey would obviously stop giving you fight buttons once you saw that you were whooping them. So to a degree, I think her determination was what basically kept her in that realm. Like I don't think I agree with you that Flowey wanted to kill her over and over again, very clear. But I don't think he had a way of permanently getting away with her, getting rid of her, because we see in the fight that he snatches her save five, but and kills everyone and turns the game into darkness. But Frisk is still there and refuses to go even after getting killed over and over again. Like Flowey had no way of permanently eradicating her.
No, because like the first thing that happens after you come back is, do you think the first thing he says is he? Did you think I was satisfied killing you only one time?
Yes. But to the degree, like let's remember, the dude is fighting across literal load screens. It could be possible that she wouldn't have came back because, yeah, you died, and it is implied that he let you back, but you're the person who came back in the first place. So while he could have, kept killing her over and over again, there's no way of him to actually get rid of Frisk because Frisk is a determined piece of crap. Even the Hyper God of Death trying to point blank blast you for the umpteenth time or suck you in a literal timeline. No, you're still there. And then correlate that though over to Chara, I think I've demonstrated the fact that she was a very prominent figure in the fact just by giving her buttons to fight and the ability to call on those souls and what. Now we have this thing, but bloodlust.
Mm-hmm. And then like, okay, so I'm going through, I'm going back through the, well, yeah, because like with Omega Flowey, he like, cause like it's kind of hard to imply like whether or not you could let him, but I think it's kind of implied because he says stuff such as, "Are you letting me kill you on purpose?" and "Don't you have anything better to do?"
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like kind of like implying he's kind of enjoying it, and that like, and whether or not it's his choice is a little hard to quantify.
Oh, I
He
would say he was in complete control. Like he had complete, like he lost his mind when he saw that the bulls were disobeying him. Like you're not supposed to do that. Stop. You're supposed to obey me. I am God. I think he had full control of himself and his actions just off of the dialogue and how confident he was.
mm-hmm.
He literally gives you the chance to call for help, which ended up being his downfall.
Yeah, he definitely, but like, and like with that, he like kills you multiple times, and like he claims that he was going to, like yeah, he kills you multiple times at the end of the fight, but I do think it's like fair to assume that if he wanted to, he could just leave you dead.
Well, quote, leave dead. Again, like, he had no way of permanently, because we both know that those two can come back from death. Definitely. Oh, yeah, there's that list, by the way, in case you wanted it. I got a better picture of it. It's in the big chat. That way you can better look at the stats. That's Frisk stats in a neutral run. So that way you don't have to look on that stupid wiki link. But more so, we're comparing this to a neutral run Frisk. He's out here struggling with a neutral Frisk who, at the absolute peak power, which I think we agree that she wasn't this LV, but let's say she was, she can do 99 attack, 99 HP, 48 attack, and 14 defense. Whereas with Chara, this is that same scenario, except she's bloodlusted. She's far stronger than ever. She has a wider range of hacks, and she has. I think I'd be confident in saying that she has a higher AP feat, mainly scaling off of
Well, because like
Undying.
even in the like strongest part of the neutral route, you still can barely touch like Omega Flowey, and I like get it's higher, but like it being that much higher, and then again, Omega Flowey has been shown to save like a load of save file even over his own corpse,
Yes.
and he's able to keep like up to 3 of them. So even if you were to like destroy one, he would have two. Like he'd just be able to create them infinitely off of each other.
Yeah, but Chara popped an entire multiverse, and you know there was nothing left after that. Like even when Flowey did his game busting attack, there was still stuff. Like there was still a game as you were able to move around, you were able to interact with the screen, and then his face pops out and etc. But with Chara, it was bleak nothingness. There was no button. There was no choice. All you could do is listen to her talk.
Yeah, but then again, that all goes back to the like is because Chara has no reason to fight you. Chara clearly has no interest in that.
Yes.
But Flowey, as like his dialogue shows, he just really wants to kill you over and over again.
Right, but this is again, this is Chara the bloodlust. And let me make a point here, no offense. You said that Flowey was completely emotionless and whatnot, and originally I was going to agree with you. There's one thing though, and I think you'll find this interesting. When at the end of the genocide run, before Chara kills him, he feels fear for the first time, meaning he has the capacity to feel.
Well,
He has a degree of.
he specifies at certain feelings. Like he specified that fear wasn't something he lost, but like he lost things like compassion and sympathy and all that. Like he specifies that like all he specifies fear was not one of the things he lost. And I don't think fear would have anything to do with LV because LV is just the drive to kill. Whether or not you like whether or not you fear death has nothing to do with your drive to kill.
Well, yeah, sure, but if you start, that dude was terrified of Chara, and I'm not saying he's gonna like cuck down, but what I'm saying is because fear is the like possibly last core component in his very cute, what we can call humanity, and the fact that he's acted on it, pretty pretty reasonably when the megalomaniac with the knife was coming at him. So what I'm saying is, he's not exactly known for his bravery. He's more of a if as long as I'm like 10 times stronger than you, well then I'll fight you. He only engages when he's Omega Flowey.
Oh yeah.
So what I'm saying is,
We see like he barely engages in fights that he thinks he can win, but I mean he thinks he can't win. Like how he just sits there and waits for you to.
Asgore, yeah. What I'm saying is, if she starts doing a lot of damage, if she starts bringing up all the times that he cut down to her, then now again, this is going to take a while. Like if we were going in like increments of the fight, I would say this is like extremely late fight. But if he starts feeling something, anything, that is going to hurt his drive to kill. Because when you're afraid, you're not trying to fight the guy. You're thinking, "Oh crap, I have to get out." Like, what's the one thing that he does all the time? Right? What's like one of his signature dialogue? Flowey ran away. Like, but that's just a possible way she could end it. A big point I want to bring up is their respective AP feats, right? So, as I already mentioned, Flowey, when he busted the game, he crashed it, piece of crap, and he breaks your TV again, piece of crap. But there's still timelines and what left because he states, and I quote, "I'm going to show them the true meaning of this world." He wasn't going for like complete devastation of the multiverse. He was going for more along so make everyone suffer route. And I think that can kind of hurt his case because Chara's feat is just, I swung my hand and everything is gone.
I mean, because like with the Mega Flowey, it's kind of like stated that he sort of like with Chara, of course, Chara just felt like there was no meaning left, and so Chara's just like, yeah, let's destroy this. I want to go somewhere else.
I'm done. Yeah.
but with Flowey, he's all like, it's like for one, we like know his secret motive at the end of the pacifist route, which is like something he makes clear is like, but also like we know that he like has like reasons. He like we know for example he's like kind of bored, but unlike with Chara, he's been able to find.
Here you go. I have a direct quote for you. I'll show them all the real meaning of this world. That's his whole motive. That's all he wants. He just wants people to feel the same that he felt.
Well.
Oh yeah, no Markiplier's there.
Well, yeah, but Flowey says the meaning of the world is kill or be killed. So.
Right, that's what he was talking about. That's the meaning of this world to him: kill or be killed.
So he's good. Okay. So with Flowey, like you have to remember, with Chara, we don't really have much personality for Chara. We don't really have we don't have any like motives other than kind of.
I want to do it. I'm bored.
Kind of like, hey, can we like finish this up? But then, like Flowey, we have very clear motives, and these motives like sort of change depending on like what he wants us to see. Like first, it's kill or be killed. Then it's but like depending on what point in the game. Like
no, mate. The whole thing with Flowey was kill or be killed. In fact, the whole point of him trying to side with Chara was because he thought that she would help him achieve this goal quicker and to a higher degree. And then he says, "Oh, maybe this isn't such a good idea because this is now affecting me, and when it affects me, that is bad."
Yeah. Okay. So he doesn't. Cause like so the universe busting feat.
Multiverse.
Okay, the multiverse.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Can we like really say that was like because with Flowey, we don't really like have any confirmation that anything exists until after you already have beaten him and after the souls have already revolted.
What do you mean by that? Like something exists?
So like we see like a black space and we see like your character walking through a void, but other than that, there's not really.
Well, there's indications that one, there's a title screen, which Flowey pops his head out of. Two, there's different timelines still active, as you demonstrated. He has save files, and he's had other timeline access within them. So yeah, there's the feat is clearly to a lower degree. And as a little something extra to add on, here's another little interesting thing I found. When you whoop Flowey's weed self, you pull out the weed killer, you make him, croak. You go back to the regular world like nothing ever happened, and Flowey would have no reason to revive the joint. We know that he doesn't have the ability, time, or power to revive the joint because everything was obliterated. And by the time he was being obliterated, and the souls were revolting against him. He didn't have time, nor would he really want to. You beat me. Well, at least I get to trap you here in this void. But I found it interesting that after you beat him, everything goes back to normal when you spare him. It's a regular multiverse, and I thought, how could this be possible? Because it's still the black empty void when you spare Flowey and he runs away. And my conclusion was, it was either Frisk or it was Chara, because those are the only two beings that have demonstrated that kind of power that were still alive. The souls went who knows where. Flowey ran away. So it was either one of those two. And they both scale to each other. At least in terms of neutral to Chara. That should be good. So there's that.
Well, like, I could argue Chara basically, like, the only reason you're not allowed to is because Chara is, like, above you in determination, because with Chara, once you give Chara your soul, it's, like, a very easy task compared. So, like, it could just be argued that that was just the amount of determination needed to restore everything.
Well, you see, at that point, true form Chara, which I may as well go over, is stated to be the embodiment of the stats, and is so powerful that she's capable of, which I think we would agree that Chara has determination. But what I'm going for, at that time, her determination surpassed the genocidal Frisk, who had lost everything, including the literal game that she was in. The anomaly is helpless. There's no one left. And true form Chara is basically the supreme being. And she won. She got the soul. And it was a deal. It was, you give me this, and then I'll bring everything back.
Because, like, look with Flowey, though, like, the anomaly doesn't really have much power until after you beat Flowey, compared to Chara, where you're just not given a chance to fight Chara.
Well, I would disagree, because Flowey doesn't make any assertions towards the anomaly. I don't even think he knows. Okay, never mind. He knows that she exists, but he was referencing Frisk the entire time, not really anomaly. Whereas with Chara, I mean, she literally calls us perverted, and we have an unjust sense of, like, justice or something if you beat genocide twice in a row. Like, she literally roasts us if we do it twice.
I mean, yeah, and, like, the thing about the anomaly, it's really kind of hard to quantify the anomaly, because other than, like, controlling Frisk and maybe having some of the, like, getting some of the credit for the resets and everything, there's not like not like much for the anomaly.
Well, I could bring up a few feats. For the one thing, Sans considered a significant threat and outright called it by the name of anomaly, hence the term that we are using. We know that Gaster, to some degree, had acted like it. He was comparable. There's some arguments out there, but that's a day for another time. And more specifically, the anomaly is, you are the most active being that is capable of messing with the code. All the other guys, they just go in there and they either chill, they could do something, but they don't, or they tell the anomaly to shove off. So you could give the anomaly, and plus, of course, the most famous feat that it has, controlling Frisk the entire time, and Chara to a degree, and then Chara gets. And I would argue surpassing the anomaly is a tremendous feat.
Because, like, the anomaly, it controls, like, some of the movements, and then Chara controls some of the movements. But, like, surpassing that, because Frisk is really the only one being controlled by the anomaly. And, like, you can argue the anomaly as is the like it's kind of hard to debate whether or not the anomaly is the source of the determination, or if he just has control over someone
I
with
I
some
would go with
determination.
I would go with that. Just going off of canonical, the story. But yeah,
Yeah, so like he's not like, and so like when Sans, even though he references anomaly by name, because like that's a little weird. What he's mainly talking about is how everyone's everyone's all like he can't do anything, and he knows that he's gonna be stuck in the same point in time forever.
mm-hmm. Which is kind of sad.
Yeah, it's sad, but
It's sad.
that's why Nuxtaku calls him the most deep OP anime character.
That's real. Yeah, I saw that video. But but really though, like just surpassing the anomaly and having that higher AP feat, I think that would really help Kara's case, especially in terms of AP. And once again, I've demonstrated she's capable of hitting in the thousands range, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands range, and even more than that with her devastating multiverse flat slash, which was just a casual one shot. Now imagine that shot, except more of them. They're aimed at one target, so it's all condensed into AP, and she's trying to kill it. Because I think this is by no means a close or a stomp.
And then like I could bring up the souls because so like I've said, LV it's not a direct factor in it's not like a direct factor in attack potency, but at the same time, like the souls should all be relative. As like
Mm-hmm.
so like for example, if Kara clearly doesn't just have like more power, like the human soul clear like first soul clearly doesn't just have more power straight out. Like it has determination because that's like its trait, but it
Yes,
clearly doesn't just have like more power than everyone else's soul. And so
true.
like,
It's got to work for that. Yeah.
and with that being said, like the emotional limit that souls normally have after it's dead, logically that shouldn't even exist anymore.
Well, I would disagree because we've seen that Kara, as she stated in her you know in speech, where was it? Yeah, HP, attack, defense, gold XP, and LV. That's me. So I could argue, especially in her true form, she would have a very significant degree of emotional charge, if not an infinite supply, because she can just continuously ramp up her abilities. Combine that with the determination, and I'm not using true form with the soul because that's not fair. But I mean, the fact that she's able to go into the literal code, and if you try to take her, she'll tell you no. She's still going to give you the. I figured out the name for that, by the way. It's called a soulless pacifist. Didn't know that, but there's still going to be a soulless pacifist, even if you go into the game and try to get her out. So
Okay.
I'd argue she'd have a very high, and to bring up even more, Ezreal Dreamer, she was the reason why he was able to have that emotional discharge.
We
Go
debated a
nuts.
lot about like what like how that scan should be interpreted because to me
Mm-hmm.
like if like Flowey should have had so like Kara can't just be LV because Flowey should have had things like LV should have existed way before first fell down there.
Yes. Sans made that very clear. Yes.
So it's not
But
just
at that,
so like Kara
yeah,
isn't just LV. Like when Kara says that feeling, that's me. It could just be like there a certain aspect of the like the number increasing every time a number increases. That
mm-hmm.
feeling, that's me. So it
Well,
could
you could
just be
also
like
take out that part, like
what's
every
like
time a number
influencing you
increases.
to increase said numbers.
Oh yeah, we agree. That's definitely a part. But what I'm also going off of is think of it like this: when you're in that void, right? There's no LV. You got no access to your LV, your HP, your anything because it's all gone because Kara's out of you. another little detail that I found out. Once she pops the multiverse and she leaves, there's no more access to your LV attack defense. You can't pull up anything. You're stuck there. You're a completely mortal being now, like everyone else, if not less.
But when your save file gets deleted, you also can't pull that stuff up.
Oh yeah, I would argue that's Omega Flowey being a crackhead. Because he's demonstrated the ability to manipulate the game and stuff as he breaks your save and saves over your death, and etc. etc.
But like, with that being said, like Chara being LV is like Chara was.
Oh no,
Chara's like your LV, but you can't quantify that above Omega Flowey.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I'm going with. I'm not going to say she's going to take her LV and just boost it to quadrillion or something. I'm going off of like the AP feats and stuff because again, LV does not necessarily correlate directly to attack potency. Hence, what is shown consistently in the game is it's just an indicator of how strong you are, as demonstrated by the difference in power with a neutral and pacifist compared to those same level beings, except in genocide.
And like I said, like the thing about the souls is that like the souls, like their power should be pretty like purized by them literally like being dead and being controlled by Flowey, who should be like extremely psychopathic.
Wouldn't that be impure?
No, like so like the pure power, because like I. Okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, but
Okay.
like for example, well no, never mind. That's a bad example. Never mind. But like the souls, since like basically they're being killed and like Omega Flowey is at that high of a level, they should be like in their purest form logically.
True.
Because like when you up your LV, you're not upping the power of your soul. You're simply tapping into it more.
Yes. Yeah. You're not. Yeah. It's not like a chakra thing where it runs out or key or something. But I could argue that could help Chara since she's demonstrated high levels of soul manipulation. She's been able to control Frisk's soul, take it. She's been able to manipulate the souls in both the Omega Flowey boss fight. She is able to retain to Frisk's soul even after both Omega Flowey and the Hyper God of Death sucks everyone else's souls up. And she's capable of helping Frisk take out those same souls which Azrael Dreamer was using. If not, I would argue she did more of that because the whole reason he dropped the act was because he knew he was there. He was calling her name out and junk. So I might argue that if the souls got too big of a problem and she doesn't just kill them like she did Frisk, which is very possible, I could argue soul manipulation. She either robs them of the poor guy, or she, forces them to turn on him again.
Well, yeah, because like it said, it takes extreme power to take a soul without death. It could just be like harder to do it to a human, clearly, since like the human soul should be way more powerful than the
That's true.
monster souls. So it could just be that human souls are harder to manipulate.
That's true. But remember though, Chara just give it up. She had no issues taking Frisk's soul, which I would argue is the most strongest out of all of them, or at bare minimum the purest, I guess.
Well, Chara kind of just outweights you. You're the one who gives it up. You're like, Chara sits
Yeah.
there and it's like, okay, man, now.
About time. 10 minutes, give it up. But what I'm saying is like she stays there even after true reset, and she's able to hold on, manipulate your soul, and then finally lets you have it back after the true reset. It's kind of like a trade.
Yeah, but.
And so going off of that, and remember, this is that same Frisk, just bloodlusted, more hacks, meaner and stronger. Way meaner. So she could just say, okay, Azzy, time's up. I'm sick of this game now. And either play off of the few emotions I have left, mainly being fear, or pull some code tricks, which I might get into in a minute, or just start killing them. Like she could just kill them. She was able to force the anomaly out and kill poor Frisk.
I mean, yeah, she was able to kill Frisk, but like you could just argue that's just saving over a corpse. That's what would, because logically, if you're dead, if you're sitting there watching someone dead in a similar void, then that would be what it's like.
What do you mean?
So like that's just like if Flowey weren't to let you come back.
Well, I guess that'd be like a VFR, but again, she could come back because there was still access. There was still saves still open, and we know that she can get to higher amounts of determination. And there's no way Frisk is going to just let her game go. I mean, she takes a step forward and basically defies him, which makes him say, "What, you think you can kill me?"
Well, yeah, yeah, she defies, but like that could just be scaling above Frisk, and then the anomaly just has nothing to do, which would be like I could argue that's just what would happen if Omega Flowey wasn't.
But let's say Kara loses her temper and goes off on the souls, because we know she can target the souls. She's done it multiple times. What happens then?
Because like with targeting souls, so that's kind of weird. Because with targeting souls, like almost anyone can do that in the verse. That's like
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's just
that's
bread and butter.
very standard.
Yeah, the most fodder monsters have soul manipulation to a degree and the ability to attack.
And then also, souls like they do break, but at the same time,
And these are weaker souls. These poor things have been dead for God knows how long now.
but they kind of just
Life.
been contained, and there's nothing to suggest that like the soul would be losing power because no one's using it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it's like a weakened state. I'm just saying Kara is stronger because she was able to leave Frisk, become a non-corporeal being to some degree that is capable of being beyond the space-time continuum and literally messing with the anomaly. And we know some of those, based off of context clues, some of those souls died in the freaking ruins, for God's sake.
I think that was only one.
Yeah, there's only one of them, and one died in snow, one died in waterfall. So these are not exactly the strongest of the strong.
But to be fair, the one that died in Snowden could have died to Sans.
Okay, look, okay, yeah, that we don't know how he died. Sans and kudos, you had the best death, but yeah, I'm just saying this isn't exact. These souls shouldn't be necessarily comparable to Kara, and so if she starts, let's say she doesn't focus on Azrael. We've seen multiple times the boss fight. She's capable of taking on the souls. She could just start popping those off. His power drops. Now he's in trouble. And then again, he could start giving it.
Yeah, because like when it comes to popping off souls, what's to stop a Flowey from popping off the stolen soul that Kara's got?
Either she becomes truthful or she's a lot stronger. And we know that Flowey tried that. It didn't exactly work. The Hyper God of Death tried that. It didn't work.
Well, again, with
Poor
the
thing.
Hyper God of Death, he should have like that should be a lot more determination. Could be argued that like
Yeah,
well,
if
like
she'd reached that power with poor Azzy, then I'm sure she can hit at least just similar degrees around that area, if not more, because again, non-corporeal being beyond space and time and is able to make the anomaly go away.
because with
A feat
like
that Frisk was able to never accomplish.
tried to really quantify determination, but like it's easy to say that the Hyper God of Death not killing Frisk is like extremely impressive considering Omega Flowey killed Frisk multiple times and Hyper God of Death couldn't even do it a single time.
Yeah, I think that's more of a feat for Frisk than it is an anti-feat for Omega Flowey.
Yeah, exactly, but like that should be like that should prove that it's on a very high level and
Mm-hmm.
nothing put genocide that high.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Let's remember the AP feats. Those nines. There were a lot of nines, and one-shotting the multiverse with one blow is pretty impressive.
Hmm?
I would say that's again. I'm not saying that Chara is like this, you know, infinitely beyond Frisk. I think that full determined Frisk would be to a degree beyond Chara, but once it's not that big of a difference, and when she becomes true form, it is very iffy.
It's kind of iffy because like with Kara being
Very iffy.
incorporeal, most of that is that we don't even like Kara doesn't even really exist on their own until the genocide era, and like at that point we can't really test if
Well,
like
no,
if they can
she
like.
had sentience in Pacifist,
Oh yeah, they had sentience, but they weren't really like doing anything. They're kind of like maybe whispering in your ear a little.
giving you buttons, telling Azrael that you're not getting away with this, making Azrael have a panic attack.
And then like
I'm just saying
they
she has some decent feats in the pacifist run for a leech.
the the buttons are honestly like the buttons are weird because like if Kara's just
Buttons are weak.
the narrator, it's like what is the like how would you use that in a fight? Like would Asgore just be able to passively like stop you, like make it physically
Oh no,
impossible?
I'm just going off the button thing. I'm just going off. I use that more of a she was able to defy Azrael and give Frisk the shot she needed to drop him in the first place. And she's able to quantify levels of infinity, as she outright says he has. So he has infinite attack and defense. The fact she's able to quantify that means she has a really, really high power set, which I think could again play into her true form
Well,
state,
yeah,
where she could just buff it up.
she could just like she has a grasp on it, but that doesn't mean she's on that level.
That guy has infinite attack and defense. Here's how we beat
Well, she didn't like. Again, they kind of just like he kind of just they made him cry. They didn't beat him up.
him.
They didn't like go up to him like, hey, Infinite Kid, give us your lunch money. They kind of just said, can you stop that? That's not nice. And then he's like, oh,
Well,
sorry.
they also tanked shots point blank, and Kara again refused to be sucked up by the hyper god of death and stuck with Frisk the entire time. Probably was beaming the whole time too, if I'm being honest.
Well, for like again, like human souls, although they can be manipulated, we know they can't just be like picked up, and like it probably it's logically way harder to just take it out of them.
Well, shoot, I mean, it seems pretty easy to pick them up. Every,
Well, no, yeah,
every dang
it's like
monster.
pretty easy to manipulate them slightly, but like to just steal them completely is different. Because
Like every.
it's stated to take a soul without killing someone would be different. So like even though you can manipulate them, the soul you can attack it directly because of how powerful it is. That's just because it's able to last outside of them. But like you're not allowed, like they're not even allowed to manipulate each other's souls.
Yeah, but even the most fodder monsters are screaming, "I'm gonna take your soul and go to the surface."
Yeah, but that's after death, and it's like stated
Yes.
like it's stated in the waterfall messages that it's way more difficult to take a soul while they're still living, to the point where
Oh, absolutely.
you might as well not even try.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying Kara's gonna rob Omega. I'm saying she's either gonna attack him personally and overwhelm the souls, or go for the souls themselves, which both are in canon. Very, very common tactics she likes to use.
Mm, but like with the souls, could I know breaking the souls? Well, because so here's the thing about that. It's stated like very directly. I'm gonna try to get that statement, but it's stated like killing someone without attacking their soul directly for a monster. That's basically like an impossibility. So the fact that the souls are still intact, I don't know like what method of taking the souls or like what method of destroying the souls exists.
Well, yeah, sure we do. You go off of what Kara did, right? You take your multiversal slash and you pop the thing.
I'm talking about like, cause so like for example, Asgore, like how did he store the soul? Because he can't take the soul while the creature's still living. because he's not that powerful. But like,
Yeah, that was curious. Well, he said he was going to absorb them or something. I think.
but he hasn't absorbed them. He just kind of like stores them. But how does he do that?
Yeah.
Without, because he'd have to kill them first. But at the same
I
time,
always assumed they had like a special device. Like we can assume that Gaster was around at that time. We know he was a genius. I always just assumed like maybe the capsules had like some kind of special thing from keeping them from coming back. We don't even know if they can reset really, but
well, like,
eh.
yeah. The thing is, like, you can't kill them unless you attack their souls, though. It's like very specifically stated that humans are like basically impossible to kill unless you attack them directly in the soul.
Right. This is Omega Flowey though,
And so,
who's a monster.
if you kill someone, if you kill someone by attacking them in the soul, it doesn't destroy the soul; it just kills them.
Like if you attack him in the soul, there's clearly demonstrated ways to either contain or keep someone from coming back. Like freaking Sans has a contingency plan. Guy goes and does Batman levels of prep and figures out a way to keep you there even without killing you. I'll just wait. Like
Yeah, but like this sheet is really the destroying of the souls. Because
well, again, we have a feat of her killing a being with a soul
well,
and
yeah,
then rock.
they take the soul, but the problem is like, could they destroy it? Because they only take the soul because like they basically sit there and wait. But with Omega Flowey, it's debatable whether or not to be able to do that because they should be comparable in determination.
Okay, here's a thought. We know that souls are capable of being destroyed, right? Well, like for example, Alphys. That was devastating, and those things were basically dead. Or the random monsters that got in Kara's way.
Well,
Their souls were destroyed.
it's stated like yeah, it's stated monster souls they don't have the ability to exist without their exist without their body, but human souls do. And so in that way, like the human souls don't rely on being like the human being alive, but at the same time the only method of killing humans confirmed that the monsters can do would be attacking them spiritually.
Right. But this is Kara fighting against a guy who's a psychopath. She could just destroy his physical body, and since the souls, see, because the thing is, those souls aren't his. He's just using them. So once Flowey himself is dead, stupid souls are gonna either wander off or she's gonna take them for themselves. And God forbid if one of them gets loose during the fight or something, which is very
Well, okay,
possible as
so
shown in the Mega Fight fight.
we haven't really been shown what absorbing a soul does, but it's like kind of like so because like with Flowey, the souls only like betray him after a certain point, but we see them being like pretty obedient until it's a call for help, which would be out of character for Kara by far.
Very yes.
So like other than that, the souls kind of just completely like cook down to Flowey. If you aren't,
Yeah, I agree with
if
that.
you don't call for help, and then so like when he absorbs them, it's just like so it's like somewhat confirmed that like when they talk about Kara, so it's like somewhat confirmed that the consciousness is sort of combined because like it's stated that Kara was having conversations with Azrael, but then like I guess Flowey just has the ability to cuck them because they don't have any control over the situation until you beg them.
Basically, let me offer you this. Yeah, she's not gonna call out for help, but maybe she'll do what she did with Frisk and basically say, "So listen, turd, you're gonna join me, or I'm gonna kill you." Like we know she can hurt a soul. If you can hurt it, you can kill it. Like I don't think that. Let's say I would say this: if she shattered a soul across time and space like she did the multiverse, I think that would put a damper on poor Flowey's appendage. Like what I'm saying is, maybe mid fight or something similar again to the actual in game fight after she's done trashing on the poor guy because if physical Chara and scale directly to Sans, who is the fastest character in Undertale, I would be confident arguing, other than Chara, who's able to, eventually blitz him. You know, she's pretty fast. I'd be confident in arguing. And if she, I don't know, goes after one of the souls and tries to do what she did with Frisk, which is try to manipulate them, control them, or just take them over, right? So instead of destroying them, let's take a more in character option because we know that she's all about them souls. I mean, right?
But
She could
but
rob them.
the problem with that is that like that assumes she basically have to already be winning the fight before she could convince them to do that.
Right, because Omega Flower is a jerk. And Chara's also a jerk. But she's also a scary jerk. Oh, and Omega Flower is scary too, but against his old buddy who killed him. The AP feats alone really put this into some perspective because he's going to take a lot of damage and his souls are going to be stressed out to the max. So they either have to focus on keeping him alive or focus on keeping her off of him.
Well, actually,
and if that
when the souls literally assist you in killing Omega Flowey is just able to revive himself, and so this proves that first of all, the souls kind of don't care if they die.
No, they don't care.
And second of all, he can revive. He can, even though these souls are his source of determination, he can revive them even post death. He can revive himself and the souls.
He needed the souls to come back though, and once they betrayed him, he turned into a lowly flower again.
So the problem is, why would the souls pick Chara over Flowey?
Well,
Flowey already has control of them. He's already absorbed them. So he's already absorbed them and everything. They're already his. They've been cucking down to him, and then they just decide out of the kindness in their heart to go help Frisk only if Frisk asks for it. But then why would all of a sudden when they see this big old meaning, they'd be like, oh, okay, sure, fine, whatever.
Oh no, they wouldn't. It would be forceful. Similar again to Frisk, the whole genocide route, she pushes Frisk to keep going forward. She could tempt them with the joy of stats, LV, XP, etc. Or she can just take them like she does at the end of genocide. There's several options really.
In the genocide, she's at that point, Frisk has already been overpowered. There's not much of a fight left.
Yeah, because she killed everything and basically stripped her of her powers.
Yeah, but it's already basically lost at that if it would ever to get to that point.
Right. What I'm going off of is I'm not saying she's just gonna go in there and give it up. But what I'm saying is it'd be a similar instance where she would beat on Omega Flowey because we've seen her AP feat. I think I'd be very comfortable saying she can do some serious levels of damage to them.
Well, of course, she could hurt him, and he'd probably die quite a few times, but he'd be under no real threat per se. The souls don't feel threatened by him taking damage. They don't
No, they don't.
They don't even care. So if Chara's winning the fight, the souls literally don't care, but they don't have exactly a reason yet to turn to a different side.
Well, sure. Promise of better power.
Would these souls go for that? Because initially,
well, why'd they go for Flowey?
Okay, no, Flowey absorbed them forcefully by taking them.
So we can go with that. A weakened Flowey would not be able to hold off a amped incorporeal being that's beyond space time, etc., etc.
So the souls, they didn't join him out of any sort of want or need. They just kind of did
Exactly.
He
Now
also,
imagine with incentive. Because what's every human's weakness? Come on now.
I mean, I get that, but like, why would they? So, if Chara started talking to the souls, first off, why would they like even listen?
Because he's one of them. I mean, they seem to be pretty intent on being with their kind. Hey guys, I'm just like you. I died down here too. Hey, guess what? Let's team up and kill this. Also, loot. Oh, and if you don't, I'm gonna destroy his physical body and I'm gonna take you. Because here's a question: how would Omega Flowey kill Kong?
How would he kill Kara?
Yeah,
He could trap her. He has like all those. He has many abilities like if you trapped her within like say some petals, there wouldn't really be much escape. He's like been able to like shown to be able to like box the soul very small.
this is an incorporeal being that's beyond space time. You
Yes, that'd be hard to box. He can like if he wins once, he would like be able to just save over the body.
right again? True form is a literal incorporeal being that's capable of screwing with the code itself and getting in there.
Well, yeah, they can screw with the code itself, but if like with the save file, if they're like screwing with the code, like they can like Sans can go with the code. He can still die. He doesn't have the ability to just like say, "Hey guys, nope, I coded myself back in here."
I code him. Well, yeah, because he died. You can't really access the code when you're dead.
Yeah, like because like this code, it's not really a passive ability.
No, oh no, by no means.
It's like again, it's like kind of like a corrective thing. Like it's a resistance, but it's not exactly an ability.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You use that resistance. You can box me all you want. You can hit me all you want. She could just tank the guy. Use cheat. Because we all know, we can.
Being immune to cheats isn't the same as being able to cheat.
I could argue again. The real world thing is supposedly Fox made a really, really sturdy firewall, but like the the in-game thing is just she sits herself there, she manipulates the values, and now you just get soulless pacifist. He's always there, no matter what. And, also you can't get rid of her genocide run. I found that out as well. You try to go in there and like skip her little 10-minute thing. That ain't happening. You're gonna listen to her spill. You're also gonna waste 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, and like, but I think it's fair to say that code manipulation and save file manipulation aren't the same thing in the game. Characters are
Yeah, I would argue
characters
code.
like who are immune to one haven't shown immunity to the other.
Well, like how so? Like you mean like Sans? Sans doesn't really.
Definitely like
I
a
don't know if.
prime example. He has like resistance code manipulation, but he has no resistance to time. Like he's kind of aware, but not like in the same way Flowey's aware. He kind of knows it exists, and he has a machine that can kind of keep track for him.
Yeah, I don't think Sans can directly manipulate the code. I think he just knows when something's up, and he'll kick you out if you do anything. So,
Excuse me, but could Fallen God like host the stuff because I'm gonna do something at the moment, sir.
Oh,
Sorry.
we have it recorded. It's okay.
yeah, that's cool.
Wait, you're recording this shit?
Yes.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Shout outs to Fallen.
And all right.
To Fallen God, he has only 41 subscribers. I have 46. Haha.
Wait. I got 41?
Yes.
No, wait, all right. Anyway, this has been going on for a little while, so try not to go to ad nauseum about coding, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to get an.
All right, okay, good. Okay, good.
To address Sans, good point. But let me offer you this: while Sans has been shown to have knowledge of the code, and to a degree, he can stop people from messing with it, but he himself has never shown the ability to mess with the code itself. He just kicks you out if you try anything.
Well, you see, fixing the code would like be the same thing cars are doing, right? Because cars not like changing anything. They're just if you change something, they're just putting it back the way it is.
Well, no, he doesn't really. I don't think he puts it back together. I'm pretty sure that's when Toby does something. Like he kind of leaves it up to its own thing. He just keeps you from cheating.
It's like here's an example. Like Jim, he's like a very good auto mechanic, and he can like repair a car no matter how badly it's damaged.
Right.
But would it be fair to like, even though you could argue he's competent enough, like, would it be fair to like just say like what he could build using these skills, and just like assert that he built this just because he can? Just because he should be competent enough to, not even that.
But in this case, Chara is the guy who makes the cars. Like she goes in there, she fixes the values, she keeps the values that way, and if the anomaly tries anything, she runs them. Like she showed a direct feat of being able to fix it. Sans, he's never really done it. He just stopped. So in terms of boxing, like there's code manip, or which would work at this thing. Like again, I'm not saying she's gonna like hack his ability and make it all go away. I'm just saying she can make it not work, or she can make it not lethal. You can hack values. That's a very basic ability. Any true Undertale fun hacker can do that. That's how you get the Gaster stuff, by the way.
Yeah, you don't need it, but you probably.
Well, you don't need it, but that's the best way to do it. You hack the values.
Nice.
I'm not playing the game umpteen million times just to see one piece of dialogue. But yeah, in this case, the boxing, plus he could probably take it. There's a high amount. There's a high reason, or there's definite reasons to assume regeneration from her, other than just the items. Feeding on souls, that would probably work. Because, like you said, parasite.
Oh yeah, she's like kind of feeding on Frisk, but to be fair.
But at that point, this is an independent being capable. Yada yada yada.
Like to be fair, the only reason they have anything like regeneration, that's the only reason they're alive per se, and like they're kind of just in for the ride. And if the ride doesn't stop once the roller coaster breaks, it's not exactly it's not exactly a feat.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like she's gonna break Omega Flowey, and then those souls are either just gonna go do whatever, or she's gonna take them, and it's very entirely possible that again, if a lesser extent of this being, I think we'd agree neutral is the weakest out of the three Frisks. If neutral Frisk was able to affect the souls just by asking, "Hey guys, help me out," and Chara herself was able to make the Hyper God of Death, who is significantly stronger, have an emotional, crisis, causing the souls to be unstable and exploit them.
Well, no. Azrael. So Azrael, you have to understand that Azrael's literally like had emotions for 10 minutes, and you're making some guy who was a psychopath 10 minutes ago, and now you're like exposing him to.
Oh no, I'm not saying she's gonna like make him ball out tearing or anything. I'm saying her degree of soul manipulation is very high. The only emotion I'm seeing that helps Chara is fear, and that's gonna kick in once he starts taking like serious lethal levels. Like I'm actually going to die, similar to genocide. And I might even argue that Chara's ability to inflict pain is worse than Flowey. Simply because of the higher degree of what she outputted. We have a few, I'm going to make this world rule and suffer. Well, Chara was like, I'm going to kill everything, bring it back, kill it again just because I want to. Like, he's got personal stakes in this, and it's safe to assume that eventually he'll get bored and just become. Whereas with Chara, I'm just a dude who can do it because I can, and I have absolutely you have no sentimental value to me at all. You are just cogs in a machine. Like, she views them as simple dialogue for her to play with. So that was another interesting thing I found about. Like, she doesn't view them as people, whereas Flowey wants to be the, top dog. But yeah. I think if I can, here's where was it?
Okay, yeah, sorry, something happened to my mic. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
So first off, Azrael did that out of like pure, altruism. He didn't really like.
Yeah, I want my friend. Yeah.
He's all like, but like second off, Flowey, like if he still has his determination, if he still has that kind of manipulation.
He doesn't have determination. He just has.
Logically, he wouldn't have much to fear until like Chara has no way to actually per se pierce that in terms.
You mean fear or like?
No, like
what?
Pierce is like immortality because Flowey's main like fear only really kicks in when because he like stated it's just the fear of what happens if you die and you have no soul. It's like that's like his main fear, but when he is immortal and has 6 souls, it's gonna be probably a different story.
Well, he freaked out when all those souls turned on him, and he saw that he was losing.
Yeah, he definitely freaked out when the souls turned on him, but that's just because he was getting sent back to a worse state than he started out.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that could happen again if she starts beating on him. It's we're doing this again, to the point where if you try to repeat a neutral run, he says, "I already know it's gonna happen." No.
So, but like losing doesn't, because like the souls don't care about losing. Like I've stated, if you reset,
no, they do not.
When you beat Flowey, like the souls don't do anything. They're like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not until like you call for help that they actually give a crap. And again, like that shows they're not really physically intimidated. There's nothing to suggest Chara would have any bearing over them.
Right. But remember what the souls are there for. They give him that power, and they help him stay alive. And maybe one of them will break off to engage in combat. If one of them does that like they did in the game, that soul's done. But I mean, because that's a free soul. She doesn't even have to rob it. She's just gonna snag it or attack it. But in terms of
the soul's not leaving the body, he kind of like shows on his face what soul it is, but it's not leaving his body. He's just summoning.
Oh well, yeah.
He's just summoning on its power like directly.
Yeah, I'm saying that's gonna be an easy target because now that thing's basically, setting itself up. But in other things, all the souls really do is they give them. They're like massive stat boosts. And once those stats start getting negged by a character who can create seemingly billions of nines, like yikes. Like that amount of AP is going to be excruciating.
And like Flowey, even though he fears death, his patience, it's not low. He has patience. He has a large amount of patience.
Absolutely.
So like losing a fight like that isn't really something.
Yeah, but this is life or death.
Well, at one point it'd be life or death because like I said, he should be able to. He should have at least mostly control over the save file at that point when he's fighting Chara.
I don't know, man, because she could pop those things like candy wrapper. Again, we see her with just one casual shot every single time in universes. The saves aren't really going to help. They're going to be basically a non-factor because she'll either destroy them or possibly corrupt. And in terms of, well, when does this become like lethal? When like I can imagine Flowey resetting his health a few times, but after a while, those souls are going to take hits or get robbed. Because like, the thing is, you're right. Those souls, they don't have any moral obligations, but it doesn't take much to sway them just ask them for help, or just say, "Hey guys, look at me." Like it doesn't take that much to sway them, honestly.
Like, yeah.
And Chara's cunning.
Like then again though, cause like we don't know if you could just sway them by. There's nothing to suggest it though that you could just sway them by saying, "Yo guys, I'm gonna beat you."
I'm gonna beat you. No, I again, like I said, like she would have some form of, I guess, relatability with these things because, like them, she is a lost soul that died in the underground for seemingly reasons that are beyond her control, and now she's back with seemingly godlike powers. Also, I'm the embodiment of I can give you happiness, something that Omega Flowey can't.
So
Or I'm gonna beat your host up.
bribing the soul. I don't know if bribing the souls would work. Like, why would they betray Flowey if they could just be bribed? Because Fisk clearly had nothing to offer. They're just like,
Yeah, I know it doesn't take much to sway them.
Well, yeah, but like, why do you assume they'd be bribed? Because if anything,
because Chara's cunning.
Well, but like leaving someone who's giving you everything just because they're a bad person.
Oh no! Again, yeah, I'm not saying this is at the beginning of the fight. She's gonna waltz in there and just take him and then one shot the guy. Like it's gonna take a lot of hits. But once Flowey's broken, beaten, and battered, then I could see that, and then that's like a finishing strike. Or he could like jettison those things as like a way for him to escape because Flowey's gonna Chara will let him go if it means I can get 6 humans board, and I'll probably check him down later.
Because okay, so yeah, so like we've been on this like point for a while, so like I don't think we should.
Yeah, we can keep going.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, there's not really much to suggest that they have really they would be really influenced by anything if someone sincerely needing help is like, oh, okay, let's go help them. But then like if someone like Chara who's like just as evil, who's not eviler, and who really kind of like, because it's kind of weird because the souls are like they're just with Flowey until you start, but then like you could ask them for help and they're just like, oh, okay, well, why not? But it like takes multiple tries, and it's like,
right. Well, here, no need for ad nauseum. Let's go for this. What do you think would give Flowey superior over Chara?
First off, I think the determination. Secondly, like with more human souls, there's a reason to assume he's similar, if not, like greater in power. He should be more resilient. He definitely has more experience. And
so you're going for just stats?
Mainly, he has like the save files, and like, which would be like better determination.
Well, does Flowey truly have determination?
Flowey has determination, and then he has also the determination of the souls he absorbs.
Like by what degree? Because we know he doesn't. We know he had determination for a minute, but then that all changed with Briscoe.
So, because like he had determination, he had like enough determination to overrun the save file. So he was the original save file owner, and then when Frisk came, he was just more determined, so it went to him, and then it went back to Omega Flowey once.
But in boss fights, even Ezra didn't have determination, and he was stronger. Like he already said, it's your determination that's going to make this happen.
Well,
and if
because Azrael, so first off, you're not even allowed to use the save file, so it could be assumed that true form Azrael is above you, because it doesn't let you load your save file even though you try it multiple times. But like second off, it's like part of his motivation. It's like stated to be part of his motivation because he says like even though he's like he says after he gains the timeline, he just wants it to all reset. But then he's like, you know what the best part is? You'll do it.
Yeah. I looked at all of them. There was one bit after he says you'll do it. He says, and then you'll lose to me again and again and again and again because you want a happy ending.
Yeah. And so what he's saying is that like Frisk is gonna be the one who keeps on looping through the like timeline because Frisk is the one who wants a happy ending and he won't be satisfied. But then he'll be like satisfied with Flowey in the game once he gets said happy ending.
But the problem is, there's got to be like example of them showing determination. Azrael clearly doesn't have determination, as he kept on talking like, "Oh, your determination is powerful, yada yada," and he's strong, Flowey.
But
Omega Flowey just has some souls. We don't know if they're determined filled or not.
well, cause we
And
know
saying if they are,
like
well, if
once
a
he stops
neutral,
holding back, you can't access your save files anymore. This is like logically his determination because there's no other reason.
yeah, Picard doesn't need to save file again. Like she's just gonna pop. Like she did the multiverse. She'll just destroy them.
Hmm. Well, okay. Cause like again, yeah, they could like destroy the multiverse. Like they could destroy the save files and such, but Flowey can just like clone them basically out of nothing.
And she'll just keep destroying them.
Well, yeah, they keep destroying them, and then it would go like on and on.
So that's even more stuff that he's got to worry about now.
Of course, he has to worry about like the save files being destroyed, but like he can do the same thing, and he could like, and then when he has control over the save file, because like save files are shown to be just like they're shown to be above linear time,
Mm-hmm.
like very easily. So even though like they're able to destroy all the timelines, there's nothing to suggest that like all of his save files would be destroyed by that, because you could just argue that it's actually pretty easy to argue that Chara just has control over it after that because they're able to reset it.
Right. Like I'd just say she destroyed it. There was nothing left at that point. It's just black. There was no game, title screen. There was nothing.
Well, but if we take out Flowey and the player from the Omega Flowey boss fight, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah, basically. Well, there was still timelines and stuff there. And again, as I stated, like once you destroy Flowey, everything goes back to normal. So somewhat clearly, Neutral Frisk either has more determination, and Genocide Frisk has more determination than Neutral Frisk, and Genocide Kara would have more than either of those three.
I mean, so I don't know if Genocide Frisk would have more determination than Neutral Frisk.
Than a Neutral Frisk?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's like
maybe not, but Kara would.
Kara definitely does have more, but it's not like the amount more isn't quantifiable because, like, for all we know, Kara's been leeching off Frisk until like 2 minutes ago or like 10 minutes ago at that point.
Yeah, and then she became true form, and she was completely self-reliant. So, like, what I'm saying is, she's got the hacks that can screw with his abilities, including code. She's got the high AP feats. She's got the possibility, the very high possibility, to either kill, manipulate, or steal the souls. And she has the capability to destroy Flowey's physical body while popping all of his save files. Those will probably be a non-factor. If she doesn't just destroy everything, like once there's nothing, like he's got to have something to create those save files because he stole Frisk.
Because the save files being a non-factor, again, with the destruction of the save file, you can't really say whether or not that's like if you could save on top of that or not. Because with Chara, like we could just say Chara has control over the save file at that point.
Right. Like, okay. I mean,
if you don't have control over a save file, then and like you're dead, then obviously you're not gonna be able to do anything.
yeah, you're done at that point. And that's what I'm saying. Like if she torches all, if there's nothing to create a save file from, she just torches everything, or takes it all back, and then starts giving him the beat down. I mean, it could look pretty bad, especially again with the code thing. That could be a significant factor.
So like with code deletion, that's weird. We can't really quantify the true reset, but doesn't the true reset empty that from the code too?
Yeah, it resets all the codes everything back to zero, or before.
Because like we can't again, no, but we still can't really quantify that. We can't even say if anyone put like
Well,
nominally.
no, but we can make the very basic logical assumption that it would be higher degree than anything Omega Flowey dealt with.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the problem is the frisk that he fought. That frisk is nothing compared to true form Chara at the end of Genocide, and that frisk was able to put pretty decent hurt on him just by getting minimalistic amounts of determination.
But then again, like that first was being helped by the souls the whole time. The souls only helped.
Not the whole time, only
Well,
towards
yeah,
the
yeah,
end.
yeah. The whole, but like during the beginning when they weren't helping, Fisk was literally doing pathetic amounts of damage.
And then she wasn't, and then she dropped him to zero. Only, and then the souls revived stuff and allowed him to spam a bunch of stuff and kill him. Only after that is when they turned on him.
Well,
Didn't he go over this point earlier?
No, we're just going. We're just we're going over how True Form Chara would be superior to the Frisk that was that Omega Flowey fought.
Alright. Just make sure to ad nauseum because it sounded like something from earlier.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So, but like you could argue that considering the souls, like Fisk has already cried for help at that point. Like even though it wasn't towards all the souls, even though all the souls didn't really like respond, you could argue that the souls were like somewhat like were somewhat helping Fisk because of that.
Maybe, but again, you gotta look at the whole thing. Here, let's go to conclusions. It's been a minute, and now that these two are here, we can. It'd be good to have these judges.
Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. So
Just because I think we've covered. Do you have anything else you want to bring up?
no, no, no. Okay, yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, I think I've pretty much gone through everything. Okay,
This,
you want to do conclusions first?
yeah, sure. Okay, so Omega Phi should have relative, if not higher determination than anything that we can really quantify Car at. There's not the save like the codes. There's not really much to like. You can't really quantify how he'd use it in a way because even though they can like stop you from manipulating it, that wouldn't in and of itself be manipulation. That would just be resistance of somewhat. Uh, Although, like, you could argue that the AP of destroying the. You could argue that the AP of just, like, at the end of Genocide is high, but it can't be that much higher than destroying the normal save file. You can't really say whether or not they destroyed every save file or if they just took control over the save file. And with Flowey, you can confirm that, and you can also confirm with Flowey that he has very high like save file manipulation, such as creating multiple save files, which is above anything any version of Frisk has been able to do, and it's logically above Genocide, Frisk, and possibly Gar.
Okay. And in conclusion, I brought up Chara's most basic feats in the Genocide run, which included being able to destroy the entire multiverse in one shot, and her capability to uh, steal Frisk's soul, and her extremely high amounts of AP. I brought up how LV is extremely inconsistent and is not necessarily a determiner of AP based on the feats from Frisk and various others throughout the game. I brought up Chara's numerous hacks abilities, such as the ability to I brought up regeneration for a minute. I brought up her code ability to mess with the code, non-corporealness, and her ability to exist beyond space-time. And I also brought up numerous ways for her to affect, destroy, or possibly even rob folly of his souls, and I brought up the devastating amounts of damage which she should be able to apply to him, and the overall stats which would encompass her and help her in this fight, and her ability to be on that of neutral Frisk, and was able to scale her above. All right, Judge. Frisk, I think since you actually, Frisk, since you were here the whole time, why don't you judge?
Wait, it's my turn.
You judge first, and after that, I'm gonna judge the rhetoric.
Yeah, sure.
Rhetoric. That's what.
Rhetoric.
I would actually say you two would be quite even on your points on who would win. Though I'll give the slight edge to Skinny Gwen.
Okay, what do you think, Fallen?
I would have to also give it to Skinny because of a few reasons. Like one, you brought up a few arguments and you managed to explain as to how that wouldn't be immeasurable, etc., 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 etc. You invoked modus ponens at a point and you managed to back it up, etc., etc. You gave better arguments, but basically just better rhetorical skill. That's what I'd give it to.
Okay. Yeah, quantification is something I stress, especially in Undertale, which is hard to quantify.
Yeah. I just mainly think that Toon was not very aggressive and he could have pushed you on a few points and made you concede on those. It's just when Toon didn't really push you much, that's when I kind of counted it against him.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, this was semi-formal. I wasn't aggressive.
Yeah. It was mainly just more of a discussive debate.
Yeah. Like I conceded points to him, he conceded some points to me. Like
Yeah, just he could have pushed you on more points. He could have made you concede, which would have conceded the debate basically. Except he was not as aggressive as he could have been.
Okay, whatever. Oh, well, I had fun. This is the funnest Undertale debate I've had like ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think OBS is having like a little problems with if we record this for too long, the whole recording might get corrupted. So this concludes the recording, and
yeah.
continue.
Guys, go sub the Toon if you're watching just because I'm here. Go sub the Skinny, and yeah. I'm just gonna say Fallen Guide here. Ciao.
Sub to Fallen God, Toon, and Skinny. And
yep, peace.
If you don't,
Make
then
the first score is gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Something Chara's gonna come for you.
If you don't sub to us, then we have trained hitmen at your house
Whoa.
right
yeah.
now.
I'm gonna kill you with Metroplex.
I'll destroy your multiverse.
Don't check your closet because they're really stealthy, but they're in your closet.
I'm a highly trained Navy SEAL with over 157 confirmed kills.
I'm
a
trained helicopter sniper.
Well, I have over 2 million hours in Minecraft, so.
Oh dang! Yeah, y'all better sub.
Into the deep web.
The deep web. Okay.
All right, but anyway, to save the recording, peace.